Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So, if I have kept records correctly, and there's a chance I have not, but hey, this should be video number 50. Number 50 in my channel. 50 videos. Didn't think I was going to be able to do that. So, I thought I would do a little state of the channel video and kind of talk about what I've learned, what has gone well, maybe what's gone badly, what my plans are for the future. So, the stats as of this filming is I got 23 subscribers, and all 23 of you are awesome. I probably know some of you. I don't know a lot of you, but that's okay. 648 views total, and my most viewed video looks to be the If on a Winter's Night a Traveler review. So, hey, I was not expecting the Calvino fans to come through. Thank you so much. The work that I've done so far, kind of the structure that I've settled on in the last 50 videos are, of course, the analysis videos, where I do 5 or occasionally 6 videos on one book. They're a lot of fun. I enjoy doing them. I am a little bit worried about running out of books to do because these are books that I have to take a little more care with. I have to investigate a little more deeply and come back with more stuff than just, hey, I liked it or I didn't like it. So, part of me in my head is like, well, what if you run out of videos? What if you run out of books? Because I always catastrophize. Hopefully I won't. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm sticking to kind of the English canon in a lot of ways, the English class canon, is because, number one, those are the books that I'm going to teach. There's a lot of stuff about them out in the world that I can do research with. And so there's more material that I can do a video series with. But of course, that is that's a supply that I think I can work from. But if you're not interested in the English canon, if you are looking for books that are more recent or more sort of popular fiction, that's not going to be as interesting. And honestly, when I started this channel, one of my thoughts was that's all I would do, is spend a whole bunch of videos talking about one book. I even had plans originally to do Frankenstein chapter by chapter. And then a little voice in my head said, what if people don't like Frankenstein? They're not going to stick around for all that. They're not going to stick around for 24 videos about Frankenstein. So I do want to make sure that I'm doing stuff that people are going to enjoy. And then again, if you come across a series and if I'm in the middle of doing, not Brave New World and you're not really interested in it, then I've got other stuff for you to watch, right? I don't want to be that focused in. I do need to plan a little bit better when I do these. A lot of them are sort of done with bullet points and then off the dome. I think some of the 1984 videos tended to step on each other's toes. So maybe I do need to be a bit better at planning these out. The next one that is my other sort of big thing is the sample section. I really like doing these. These are where I take my Kindle samples. I have a Google Sheet that I list randomly, and I just pick a random Kindle sample, read it, and review it. I really enjoy it because, number one, it's helping me get through those Kindle samples, and I feel a little bit less bad about hoarding them. And find some books that I might otherwise not pick up, right? Because usually I'll see a book mentioned online, and I'll say, oh, I should get the sample. And now I have the sample, and now I can do something with it, which is really neat. And again, I've got about 250 Kindle samples, and if I do one of those videos a week, that's 250 weeks of videos. So, hey, I got material forever, y'all. So I like that one. I enjoy that one. The What Are We Reading book videos are good, if a little bit sporadic, because I either have to pick up my pace reading or else it's just going to be Les Mis every time. And then there's just a matter of timing, right? I can do these videos when things here at home are quiet. When things are chilled out, the cats are sleeping, there's not going to be any real disruption. And that's all not easy to come across. So finding that crossover where I'm in the middle of a book and then I also have the time and the freedom to record a video is not always that easy. And then the last one are the first look reviews. I enjoy those as well. I take notes while I read. It gives me a task. It gives me something to look forward to as I'm reading the book. And I know that when I'm reading the book, I'm going to have to do a video about it. So it kind of gives me something to focus on. I do like that. There's a couple of sections I'm thinking of doing in the future, the near-ish future, maybe. One of them is that I used to have a book review podcast. It was the Labyrinth Library. I ended it about 10 years ago. It ran for about 3 years, and I ended it about a decade ago because I started teaching IB English literature, and that started to occupy a huge portion of my brain. I ran out of a lot of pre-written reviews that I had done for, I think, with LiveJournal years before that. So anyway, the podcast was over, and I enjoyed doing the podcast, but it finished about 10 years ago, and it had the same name, the Labyrinth Library. And I thought, I've still got the old podcast scripts. I've got everything there. It's all right there. And so it might be fun to bring some of those back. And there's a lot of them. There's about 200 some odd reviews. Some of them are, it kind of runs the gambit. There's popular science, there's history, there's, of course, fiction, there's nonfiction, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Some of it may have to be updated, and it does end at about 2012. So there's a lot of, it's 2012 and prior is kind of where those hit. That's kind of one of the downsides of that. So no new books are really featured in that. And the other section that I really thought of doing that might be really interesting is something I want to call Welcome Back to English Class. Basic reading analysis skills, things to look for as a reader. And my thought was that I think a lot of people did not enjoy their English class for one reason or another. Maybe they didn't have a good teacher that they liked, or maybe they got caught in the trap of thinking, well, English isn't really important, which is unfortunately a trap a lot of students get caught in, is they think, oh, English isn't really important to me. And then they end up having a really hard time with media literacy and reading literacy and really kind of understanding texts as they go. So I was thinking of doing maybe like a monthly, and you can chime in. Tell me in the comments if you feel like monthly is solid, but a monthly video about some reading analysis skills. Like one video, for example, the first one to pop into my head was symbols and motifs, right? What are symbols? What are motifs? Those are things that every English teacher loves, symbols and motifs. Why are they important? Why should we look for them? Why do writers include them? What do they add to a text that the text might otherwise be diminished if they did not have? So might be do that, might be do one on narrative voice, first person, second, third person perspectives. Might do something on characterization, might do something on setting. So yeah, so I think that might be a really interesting series to do. And I hope people like it. I hope it's neat. So I'm going to try to do some of those in the near-ish future. Things that I'm kind of happy with as I've gone on this journey to 50 videos so far. I do like the when you are a small YouTube channel and you look for advice or tips on how to do YouTube well, one of the things they talk about is your thumbnails. You got to do your thumbnails. I like my thumbnails. I know they're not the Mr. Beast thumbnails. There's not like me going at a book cover or something. But I like my thumbnails. I think there's a very consistent visual language in my thumbnails that I like. I think that works. I like the rhythm of the channel. The Wednesday and Saturday uploads work. And then occasionally, whenever I feel like uploading something else. I've learned to love batch recording. Pick a day where you got a couple hours of peace and quiet and do a whole bunch of videos. And then post them, and that gives you a nice buffer. So if you're getting into YouTube, if you can batch record, I strongly recommend. I'm having fun learning to edit. I'm using DaVinci Resolve, and it's kind of fun learning to edit. It's very simple editing. There's not a whole lot going on. I'm barely using what this program can do. But I've learned how to do fun transitions and putting text up on screen and stuff like that. And I think one of the things I'm happy with is treating this like I already know what I'm doing. One of the things that apparently fellow young YouTubers or new YouTubers get into a problem with is that we don't know what we're doing. We very obviously don't know what we're doing because we just started it. And a lot of people are like, well, what do I do? I'm nervous about this. I don't know if I should do it. And one of the things I'm kind of glad that I figured out real quick is that you got to act like you know what you're doing, people. You got to pretend like you've been doing this forever and then just keep going in that direction. I'm not saving books for when I finally get a ton of followers, right? Because I imagine, in the future when I've got millions upon millions of followers, there might be a book that I did way back in the beginning that now they're not really going to have access to, except that's a stupid idea because they do have access to it. It's there on YouTube. So I'm not saving anything. I'm not holding on to texts for a potential better future. I'm doing them now because I like doing them now. And I think that's another good thing that I've come across that I think I'm really happy that I came across that early rather than late. Some stuff to work on. I would still like to get a better camera. The camera I'm recording this on right now is a Canon PowerShot V10. It is better, I think, than my iPhone. Still not perfect. If you try to use it at the highest frame rate, it will overheat. There's a specific warning that says it will do that. I find that real weird. Canon, you should fix that. The battery allows me to do maybe 4 videos at a time, maybe 5. And it's got this wide-angle lens, which is nice in the sense that it gets my entire library here. But it's also weird that I got big hands. So I'm not quite sure I like the wide-angle lens. I would love to get me a nice Sony camera, but they're only in Japanese here. They don't have any multi-language support. Go figure. I would like to work on, the background of all this. Not a whole lot I can do. I live in a Japanese apartment, Japanese condo, and what you're seeing here is about 1/4 of our sort of living room space. That's it. Then there's a kitchen, toilet, washroom, and bedroom. Japanese homes don't have a ton of space. So when I'm on YouTube and they're like, oh, go sit by a window. I'm like, no, I don't. There's nowhere to do that. So I like this background. I like having all my books behind me. I know that it doesn't look like a trendy booktuber background with little LED lights and sort of the infinite bookcase that kind of fades off into the back. This is what I have. This is what I'm working with. This is what I like. So there we go. Could I have a better background? Probably. It gives me at least an incentive to keep this clean. Lighting is something that I'm working with what I have. Basically, I've turned up like all the room lights as high as I can go. Try to keep the light above me a little bit low so I don't get those kind of God rays coming down. Eventually, I might invest in better, like, those big old studio lights. But again, I'm not really sure if I want to do that just yet, because I don't know if this is something that, if we're being really honest in this, I have gotten into hobbies and I've gotten really enthusiastic about things and then just drop them like a stone at some point. So I kind of want to know that this is something that I feel that I can continue with, that I will be able to keep up the motivation to do before I start dropping a ton of money on a really expensive camera or expensive lighting and stuff. And I'm sure you can all relate with this as well. Like, we've all done that. We've picked up a hobby and been really enthusiastic for a while, and then it's gone. Something else I'd like to work on is self-promotion. I'm not really great at that. I do have Instagram, Twitter, TikTok accounts dedicated for this channel, and I upload these sort of shortened versions of our weekly analysis videos. I don't seem to get a whole lot of traction from them. I don't know if they're really worth investing the time in, but I'll keep going anyway. I'm not really sure how to interact with a lot of those communities, like an Instagram book community or Book Talk, whatever. Book Talk I'm really honestly, a little bit nervous about, because it does seem to be very flashy, and they do seem to like their YA romance novels, which is not a genre that's really on my list. But hey, and the analytics tell me that there's not a whole lot of people coming in from outside, but maybe that's because I'm not doing it right. I don't know. So things I would like to do, we'll do our next check-in at video 100. Things I'm looking for video 100. Number one, I want 100 subscribers. There we go, 100 subscribers. I'm at 23 right now. So let's keep doing that. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody to hit the old subscribe button. I would like to have 100 subscribers by the time I get to 100 videos. I would like to have maybe a little more interaction with booktubers. There's a lot of people doing books on YouTube. Again, they're not doing the same thing that I'm doing, which I think is good, because if you're doing exactly the same thing everybody else is, then what are you bringing to the table, really? And so that I hope that I can maybe get to know some of these other booktubers a little bit better, that I can help with that community. But again, number one, I am a factory model introvert. I don't really do groups and joining things. It's not a thing that I do very well, and I'm really not that great at self-promotion. So, but I will make an effort for it, so that when we get to video 100, I can say, well, I tried. So yeah, overall, for video 50, I'm enjoying this. This is good fun. This is a nice thing to do to keep me busy, to keep me making something. And that's kind of the origin of this, is that I consume a lot of stuff. I consume a lot of media. Critical Role, 3-hour, 4-hour, 5-hour episodes. There's all these podcasts and actual plays and TV shows and things that I consume. And this is a conversation that I had with my brother. Like, you're sure you're going to consume stuff, but you got to make something too, right? You got to produce something to put out into the world, or else what are you doing? So that's kind of what this channel is, and I hope that I can make it better. I hope that I can spread it out in the world, that more people will come and see what I'm doing, and more people will enjoy it. And so that's why I rely on you, my dedicated subscribers, to tell me how I'm doing, tell me what your thoughts are, and see if you got any ideas of how I can improve in the future. That's the big thing. Always got to improve. So thank you all very much for sticking around for these 50 videos. I really, really appreciate it. Here's to 50 more. I'll see you at 100. No, I will see you at the next video that I upload. Please don't go away until I hit 100 videos. Please stick around. It's really important to me. So thank you all, though, very much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you next time.